invited people to go get you invited people to go get coffee. Hopefully, most of our members are classy people who use at least an espresso to make a cup of coffee, which takes a little longer, you know? So, and some are, they have a full-fledged espresso machine and they're doing a whole process, which they can now workflow automate with AI. No, they can't.
Nicole, your crack editing staff, they can take that part out. Do you want to kick off, Nicole?
Wait a minute. Did you just say Nicole's staff is on crack? What was that? That's horrible.
Find that mute button.
Yes, find that mute button, Nicole.
Come on, give the old
Hello,
guy.
everyone. Thank you. Please, if you are joining us just in the last couple minutes, please post in the chat where you have logged in from or where you conduct business from. We'd love to know where our coverage. We do have members all across the country and in other countries outside of the U.S. So welcome to you all. Thank you for joining the third quarter 2025 all members meeting of the National Society of IT Service Providers. My name is Nicole Norman, and
no. You are clearly now Nicole Cox Richardson with this cities thing. It's okay.
So I'm Nicole Norman, and I'm the NSITSP Executive Director. I'm thrilled to see all of you who've logged in and are participating in today's quarterly update meeting. I want to also take the time to acknowledge all of our board members and committee chairs, as well as our committee members who are instrumental in really making this society a valuable resource for all IT service providers. The purpose of this meeting is not only to provide an opportunity to share exciting news and updates about our association, but also to encourage prospective members and vendors to become part of our growing community. Before we dive in, here are a few items to note. Our vision is to be the voice of the industry, defining professionalism in IT services. This meeting is open to the public and we encourage participation. So feel free to just post in chat, post questions in the Q&A area or in chat. We definitely want to hear from you. Note that we are recording this session. So if you prefer to not be on video, feel free to take a moment to turn off your camera and microphone. Feel free to use the chat again for any questions or comments that you may have throughout the meeting, and we will monitor these throughout. This, again, will be recorded and available under member resources on our webpage at nsitsp.org. For today, we will have a special welcome and notes from our board president, Steve Kazan. I will also share just some key association announcements and an update from the management team. We will introduce all of our committee chairs for reports and updates, and then we will open for discussion and Q&A at the end. And we definitely want to hear from you, want to address any questions that you may have. Definitely open to any feedback as well. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our president, Steve Kazan.
Great. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate the introduction. Hello, everybody. Let me just extend my welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I think we've got some meaty, useful, and interesting topics to go through today. I'll try to keep my discussion very, very brief. So if you could go to the next slide. So one of the key things that's most important to us is our values, our mission, and we have them posted on our website. Several things that are key to the NSITSP. One of them is we are kind of a website-driven organization. So if you haven't taken time to go through the website, I would encourage you to spend a little bit of time to do that. As far as our values go, we talked about professionalism and communication. I'd like to just kind of tag on number 5 here, which is the member driven. So we have an ethos or a social structure such that our committees have a lot of say in the voice of the organization. I think for 2026 going forward, the organization started to take positions on industry topics that are critical, and I think we're going to do more of that going forward. And I'd like to see us do more of that going forward, which means that our committees who have opinions on pressing issues for ITSPs will have that impact, right? You will have that voice. You will be a productive and useful member, and not just sitting on a committee somewhere down the row. So if you are concerned about something in particular that's impacting the business, impacting the industry, impacting IT, we think one of the things that differentiates us is the ability in giving our members that particular voice. So next slide, please. All right. The other thing that makes us different, and this comes up a lot, is how are you different from the other MSP organizations, are our codes. So we recommend these codes to our members. We work with our members to define these codes and make sure that the wording is accurate and focused. And we suggest our partners or our members use these as a way to differentiate their businesses, as a way to add value to their businesses, as a way to tell their employees and their clients and their prospects that their businesses are different, and their businesses care about the things that clients should care about: commitment, security, ethical conduct. And we think that adhering to these codes will help you create stronger relationships, and thus stronger relationships reduced churn, but also the ability to charge more. So we think that there's an impact on profit and an impact on revenue by promoting these particular codes that are specific to your business. So anyway, if you haven't had a chance to do that, create that for your business, we think that that is a very, very worthwhile exercise. All right, my last slide. We talk about the goods and the bads of what's going on in the business today. One of the challenges is just the uncertainty. And if you're following the news, and if you're paying invoices and you're ordering IT products, and the chips in those IT products are suddenly going to get a whole lot more expensive, that uncertainty is going to impact your business. And I think that being a part of this organization allows you to compare notes with the other people on this call. So there are 50 other really good, really smart, really well-prepared, well-run, well-managed MSPs on this call, or ITSPs. Now is a great time to meet them and build the community. So if you haven't connected with these folks on LinkedIn, now's the time. I'm okay with you multitasking, because I know most of you multitask most of your workday anyway. So now is a great time to put your comments in the chat, reach out to some of these folks, create those new relationships that are part of the big, the three pillars of what we offer people. I've already talked about voice. I think, like I said, we need to have even a bigger voice next year. And I think that, all of you should think about, how you view the industry, how you view the future of IT, whether it's a vendor or technology, and add your voice to that. And then lastly, the professionalism. I talked about having values and ethics as a way to improve your business and be able to charge more. We think professionalism is also a mechanism for you to have a better run, more valuable business. And one of our goals is to ensure that all of our membership and all of the industry improves and raises that bar for professionalism. And so we've heard that some people say, oh, I'm already professional. My business is well run and well managed. Okay, great. That's excellent. And the fact that you are here and you have a well-run business, my request and challenge to you is share that with the others on this call. Share that with the others on committees. Sign up for those committees. Sign up for the elections. We're going to talk a bit in this presentation, quite a bit, about signing up for those positions. And I'd encourage all of you to do that. If you have any questions at all about any of the committees or the time commitment or the roles, now's a great time for us to have those conversations. And I would say the one question I get a lot is, how are you guys different from other organizations? And I think these 3 bullets are the ways that we differentiate ourselves and provide value to our members, right? So the voice, professionalism, and community, I think, are the right questions to ask. And with that, I look forward to seeing people in the chat. And Nicole, if you want to take the microphone back, I will gladly hand it over.
Thank you so very much, Steve. Definitely appreciate it. Now let's, I want to highlight just a few things that the NSITSP has launched since we last met from our last quarter. We did fully launch and have started executing our strategic plan. The strategic plan will serve as a roadmap to guide NSITSP over the next few years. And it reflects our commitment to enhancing member value and in ensuring that we remain the leading voice in the IT service industry, and really strengthening that voice as we continue to grow and expand. So if you have not yet taken an opportunity to fully read through the strategic plan, it again does provide the direction in which we're going. So take a moment to scan that or visit the website under member resources to become familiar with that. NSITSP really provides a number of other benefits, and I would say both tangible and intangible benefits. Some Steve has shared with us even today. But there's 2 that I want to highlight because from time to time I'm in meetings and some of our members are unaware of the existence of our member directory and our community forums. And if you have not checked those out, I just wanted to highlight those. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see that this is the light blue is our footer. And under your account, once you log in, you will not only see your member profile, and I encourage you to build that out more, but you will also see a member directory where you can search on members and connect directly, message members directly from our member portal. So that's a great way to introduce yourself for collaboration, partnership opportunities, just really to network. So this is a fantastic tool to leverage, and I encourage all of our NSITSP members and vendor partners to take advantage of our member directory. I also want to highlight our member forums. And if you've not checked that out, definitely do so today. If you go to our homepage at nsitsp.org, we have forums that allow you to engage in discussions, to share insights, to ask questions, present any challenges that you're facing to our larger membership. And that's a very active environment. It's a space where you can learn from the experiences of others and contribute your own knowledge. So please check out our member forums. If you would like, you can start a new topic. You can chime into existing topics. But this too is a great tool that I encourage all of you to leverage. The forums can be accessed again from our nsitsp.org homepage on the main navigational tab under Get Involved. Under the Get Involved tab, you will see our member forums. If you have not yet, or if you happen to miss 1 or 2 of our most recent webinars, I encourage you to check these out as well. These are also available under our resources tab for members. and you will see all of our past webinars are there as recordings. And you can also go to our YouTube channel, but an easy way to access these is to visit our member resources page and see our most recent webinars. We hosted AI-enabled threat detection and response, bridging the AI gap, and a deep dive into malware and phishing. So these were phenomenal webinars, and I encourage you to check those out. And then I appreciate all of you being here. Know that this quarterly meeting, again, is to provide updates. So put on your calendar or go ahead and register so that it is on your calendar for our next meeting, which will take place November 12th. Again, our next quarterly meeting will be November 12th. So it's every second Wednesday of the second month of each quarter. I also encourage you, if you have not yet, to join us on social media. NSITSP has a presence on LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. So join in on the conversation. Feel free to share with your peers and friends in your network any of our posts as well. The social media links, again, are Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you're following one or two, please join us on all platforms. We also very frequently partner with Channel Pro, SMB Tech Fest, and then Kernan Consulting to highlight NSITSP, to promote NSITSP to others in the IT service sector. So let us know in the member forums. Oftentimes we'll have members post that they're going to particular trade shows or events. So look for us at these events, but definitely post in the member forum if you're going to any of these events or any other industry related events. We'd love to meet up, host meetups, catch up with you, introduce ourselves face to face. Again, the online forum is a great place for us to let us know where you'll be. And then I'd be remiss if I did not thank all of our vendor partners that provide sponsorship or in-kind support to NSITSP. We can't do what we do without you all opening the doors and further supporting NSITSP. So I definitely extend a warm thanks to our existing vendor partners. If you're a vendor and you are currently here with us or listening at a later date, note that there's also a place for you. And we encourage you to join in on the NSITSP family. It's a great way to just really not only partner and support the mission of professionalizing the IT sector, but to also further promote your brand and position your company with our MSP and ITSP members. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Mark Jennings. And Mark Jennings is a very active member of NSITSP, and he also serves as the Cyber Series lead. Mark has brought just great value to the organization in leading our Cyber Series this year. So thank you, Mark, for developing, and actually you started in 2024, the fourth quarter of 2024, providing just great content on cyber for this Cyber Series. So at this time, if Mark is online, I would like to introduce Mark. Okay, well, I'm going to just move forward. I don't see Mark coming off mute. And if you have not yet attended, again, these past webinars are recorded, but we have some phenomenal sessions that are upcoming and that we will wrap the year up with for this quarter as well as fourth quarter. Our very next session is entitled Get Every Client to Say Yes to Cybersecurity Without Selling. Registration is available at this time. If you visit nsitsp.org/events, you will see all of the upcoming webinars, and we encourage you to reserve your seat right away so that you can receive just any pre-notices for these events, and you want to make sure that you're in the number for these. So again, August 27th, September 24th, we will highlight mastering customer contracts, legal essentials for IT service providers. We will have a session on October 22nd as well, and then November 5th. So be sure to check these out and participate. Also, if you're on the list, you will automatically receive any handouts or access to other materials if you're pre-registered. So be sure to register for this. At this time, we want to introduce our committees, and we have committee representation either from committee chairs or our committee members. I encourage you again to ask questions or provide insights during the committee report so you don't have to wait to the end. Feel free to post in the chat. At this point, we'll start with the Finance Committee and then hear from Legislative, Marketing, Membership, Professional Development, and our Governance Committees. Each will share their current initiatives and any opportunities for you to get involved with these committees. I encourage you to ask questions or provide insights during the reports. Also, these can be posted in the chat. If you're inspired by what you hear, please consider volunteering for a committee. Engaging in these efforts is a great way for you to amplify your voice and your presence within this organization and in the industry. And at this time, I'm going to ask Jason if he'd provide us with a report from the Finance Committee.
Good morning, everybody. The Finance Committee oversees the NSITSP budget and provides oversight and guidance on how the finances of the society are run. One way that everyone here can help fix the our finances, which have been challenging, is to encourage one peer to join. If all of our current members got one peer in the industry to join, we would fix our we would be solvent overnight and have a great turn on membership and allow us to do a lot more things in the industry. We are looking for, I believe it's 3 volunteers to serve on the Finance Committee. We've got 3 positions open. I encourage everyone to register for that for elections this season. Well, maybe we have 4 positions open. Yeah, there's 3 of us currently. So we've got 4 positions open, but as of right now, everyone's encouraged to join our committee. See if you like numbers. We've got all sorts of them. So reach out to me or reach out to one of the other committee members or Nicole, and we'll get you set up. And I'm happy to help anyone register to be on the committee for elections. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so very much, Jason. Ted Geisler.
Hi, I'm Ted Geisler. I'm the chairman of the Legislative Committee. The Legislative Committee is basically focused on actions by state legislatures that would affect our industry. This goes from regulation to sales tax type things, issues and anything else that we believe that would affect our industry. Last quarter, we asked everybody to respond to a survey we put out asking about sales tax, because there had recently been a situation of Maryland changing using sales tax and IT services exclusively to balance their budget. We found about out about this last minute, and we had some, and we brought up a position against that. But out of that survey, we received over 50 responses covering 20 different states. Half of those states responding reported they had taxes, sales taxes and IT services. Two more indicated they were seriously looking at adding them. Nearly all of the respondents indicated that they would pass the tax on as a separate line item, just like sales tax you do on things you're purchasing for on behalf of the clients. Most respondents don't know who their state representative is. And that's one of the things that we are trying to figure out a good way to let people know who their representatives and who they can talk to if they want to respond to this, or even for the most part, to get to know their legislator to help out and get involved in the discussion before something happens that they don't like. Next slide, Nicole. The actions we took result of the surveys is we're doing research on state legislatures to figure out how the legislatures really work. What we've discovered is that what you learned in your sixth grade civics class doesn't always override to everything that happens in every state. Most states only meet during the first half of the year in regular sessions. So the only time we're really looking at what's going on in detail is in the first half of the year. A small number of states only meet every other year. Texas happens to be one of those. And what they do is if they have something else come up, then they call a special session. Special sessions typically happen in the last half of the year for veto overrides and for special particular options. Bills are only typically allowed to be introduced during the first couple of months of a session. So, for example, the most sessions start between January and run to June. Only the first 2 months have the ability to open to create a bill or introduce a bill to be worked on that session. However, a bill could be presented to do one thing and end up by the time they've manipulated and everything else, that it'll be affecting something totally different from what it started out to be. Next slide, Nicole. We've reached out to those who responded to the survey and said they wanted to talk to more about us, but we haven't gotten any responses from us reaching out to them. So we'd like to talk to you guys. So please reach out to us. We'd like to talk to you. We're looking for volunteers to monitor their state legislature. Like I said, it's only the first 6 months of the year that things really happen. We aren't looking for you to be down there, sitting there and looking what's going on. But almost every state posts on a, if not daily, a weekly basis of what went on in the legislature that month. And it's just a quick look to see whether they got anything that came up that may have been of interest to our members. And let us know if something comes up so we can go and dig into it more and put together a position and start lobbying for our position on that. We're also working on a program, as I mentioned earlier, to have our members learn who their legislators are. There are a number of programs on the web that will help you do that. We're going to try and make that easier and give a better resource that you can see from the website to tell you how to do that. And the other thing is, going back on Jason's comment about increasing membership, what really makes a difference to legislators is how many people you're talking about. If you're talking about yourself as a single person, they're more likely to listen to you if you say, well, I represent a group of 800 people, 800 members of ISPs around the country. And it's not just me, this is a whole group in the whole industry. We're trying and being the voice for IT service providers in the industry. So bringing up membership will help us work with legislators better and help us lobby better. And I think that is it for mine. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. A lot going on with the legislative committee. So thank you so very much, Ted. At this time, we
I
will
have one
ask
comment on the
Howard M. Cohen.
legislative committee, if possible, before it closes. Just so members know, if some are intimidated about talking to legislators, the legislative committee has members that have experience talking with legislators, establishing those relationships, and has offered to mentor people that want to learn how to do that, including myself. So if you want to meet a legislator, you don't know how to do it, and you want to help with the introduction, there's people that'll help break that ice and help you have long-term relationships.
We actually have
Great.
a small subcommittee that is specifically for helping. Uh, now the words escape me. Mentoring people in trying to talk to the legislators of those that are interested in.
Great. And Ted, if you would post in chat how folks can get in touch with you to receive that mentoring. And also, if they're interested in serving on your legislative committee and taking an even more active role, how to engage with you. You would post that in the chat for us, please.
Okay, I will do that.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Howard M. Cohen serves as our marketing committee chair. And Howard, would you please provide us with your updates?
I'd be more than glad to, Nicole. Thank you. I'd like to start by echoing all of the previous presenters to some extent. Starting with Steve talking about what makes us different. Having been involved with many other organizations, it's my observation that most of them are very focused on the vendors and the products that we use to serve our customers, and that's wonderful. But my experience in NSITSP is that we are focused on you, the members, and the professionalism that you bring to the work you do for your customers. I think that's a very important part of our message. So much so that I will saw my own wood here. I've been recommending a change of name to the National Society of IT Service Professionals because you're what it's all about. And to my mind, that's what our messaging should be all about. So I'd like to use this report to report to you that we're restructuring the direction of the marketing committee. First of all, we're identifying who our clients are. Our clients, most directly, are the board chairs you're meeting in this session today. Each of those people, and the ones you'll meet after me, are my clients. They are our committee's clients. And we are here to promote what they do. We've spent 2 years now talking about what should we promote. And the reality is that the only place we can get that answer is from the board, from the committees. So board chair people, be prepared. I'm coming after you. I am going to reach out to each of you and find out what it is you'd like me to be promoting to our audiences, which brings me, segue, to our audiences. Who are our audiences? Well, first and foremost, our first and foremost primary audience is you, the members. We have got to be telling you what's going on. This once a quarter meeting is, I'm sorry, this is once a quarter or once a month. I lose track already. This once a quarter meeting is not enough. We need in between to be keeping you informed about all the wonderful work that Nicole and her team are doing and that each of the committees are doing, so that you know there's a good reason for you to stay enthusiastic about membership in this organization. Second, potential members. And there I will echo, I'll echo Ted, who mentioned the idea of having the voice of 800 members. To me, that's not enough. I look at a day where we're going to have 10,000 members, 20,000 members. There are lots of MSPs out there. If you ask Microsoft, they'll tell you there's 750,000. I don't believe that. I believe it's closer to 100,000 than it is to 1 million, but it's more than 800. And there are plenty of them that are as professional as anybody on this call. And they deserve to be part of this organization. We just need to let them know we're here. So that's an audience of ours. You, potential new members, are an audience of ours. I'll also echo the other presentation from Jason, that the best way to raise funds is to encourage new members. And I'm going to give you some ways in which you can help me, and you can help you can help the marketing committee help the membership committee. I'll be back to that in a second. The governmental agencies that Ted was just talking about, they're an audience of ours. We need to promote what Ted and his team are putting together to make sure it gets into as many legislative hands as possible. Then there's another audience that I think is extremely important, and that is your customers. Your customers and the customers of those who are yet to join our organization. We want to promote to them the value of choosing you as their provider of IT services. I think that's critically important, that we make it very clear to potential customers that when you choose an NSITSP member, you're choosing them for their professionalism. And you can't get that everywhere. So those are the audiences, those are the clients. Now, here are the strategies. There are two things that I need from all of you. One is, if any of you have connections with PR agencies, graphics agencies, any other resource that could be used to improve upon our marketing, please contact me and help me get in touch with those folks and see if I can't encourage them to participate. We're getting some great help from some great folks. We could always use more. Similarly, we have a vendor partner program, and vendors are usually willing to fund organizations like ours because they gain access to our membership. Certainly, the larger our membership is, the more enthusiastic they become. If you can think of any vendors you work with where you have a great personal relationship that you'd like to leverage to get them more involved with us, we'd love to help you connect them to the vendor committee, which, by the way, Amy Babinchak and I are going to be leading up to try to get together a good vendor advisory panel to serve all of you. So that's another way in which you can help us. And then content. Marketing doesn't happen without content. And one of the ways in which you can help is if you have developed any content around the professionalism you display in your work, and around the success you achieve because of your professionalism. We'd love to feature that in the blog. We'd love to feature that in upcoming case studies and upcoming publications yet to come. The slide bullets include things like podcasts, member profiles. The member profiles have been very successful, but we've only had limited distribution. If any of you have contact with any other platforms that would like to carry our member profiles or any of our content, please get me in touch with them so that we can start leveraging them and working with them to get the word out even further. And if any of you are interested, and yes, Corey, I'm talking to you, and if Marvin's here, I'm talking to Marvin, we would love to figure out how NSITSP can foster the kind of podcast that can be really useful, really valuable to members and potential members. So there's a lot of ways in which you can help us. And also, by the way, if you don't feel comfortable talking to your peers or your competitors about joining our organization, feed us their contact info. We will put them onto our distribution list so that they get more of our content, because that's how we reach out. We reach out with content. I hope that's been helpful. We have 4 open positions. Quite frankly, we have more than that. If you have any skills, if you have any interest, if you feel that you're a good promoter, if you feel that you have resources that can help promote, whatever. And then finally, the last thing that I could use from every member is, what is it that attracts you to NSITSP? What is it that brought you here? Because I'd like to take that messaging and emphasize it to potential members. I'd like them to know why you joined NSITSP. That was kind of how the profiles got started. So if you'd like to be interviewed and participate in helping me create that kind of content so we can put it out there and recruit more new members and raise more new funds and do all the things that all the committee chairs are telling you, please reach out to me. HMC at Howard M. Cohen, easy to remember. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you, Howard. It's a lot of exciting information from our marketing committee, and you're correct, it touches every aspect of our organization. So thank you so very much. The next committee is a very, very new committee that just kicked off less than a month ago, and I want to welcome the new chair, Tim, who's the membership committee chair, to introduce us to the membership committee. Tim?
Hey guys, we are the brand new committee, and our purpose is to get new members. So, as several of the committee chairs have mentioned, we really want to get new membership to help the other committees meet their goals. So we
Uh-oh.
Looks like Tim froze there for a moment.
Good to know it's not us. Tim?
It's a very long dramatic pause.
It is. All
Very
right, well,
active.
Tim, we may have to come back to you. I know that this committee will open up for election. There are 7 seats available on the elections section of our website. And this is definitely a great way to make additional contacts through the membership committee. And we'll come back to Tim. I believe he may have dropped off even, but assuming Tim will come back, we'll circle back around to our membership committee. At this time, I will introduce Chip Reeves. Chip is a active member on our professional development committee. And Chip, we'd love to hear from you today.
Sure. And now I am the backup to the backup speaker for the Professional Development Committee, and I see Eric is on the call. Eric, do you want to take this one?
Well, I'm gonna pass it back to you because you have some idea what you're gonna say, and I've been out of pocket for about a month. So I appreciate you taking it and everybody continuing the committee's work in my absence.
No problem. I just wanted to make sure. So Eric is our
Yep.
committee chair and was traveling this week and this month, and Rayanne is our vice chair, and she unfortunately had a death in the family very recently, and so as I say, I'm the backup to the backup. But the Professional Development Committee exists to really embody those values of professionalism, education, and especially continuing education as it relates to NSITSP. So a lot of our work this quarter has been focused on finalizing the guidelines for the authorized training provider program. The idea is that NSITSP members will be able to get credit for courses that they take from any source, but more easily from authorized training providers or authorized training partners. And so we spent a lot of time figuring out what does that program look like. You know, there's a lot of accreditation programs out there like PMI and others that it can be very expensive and very strict and very rigorous. And there's some where you just sign up and pay a fee and you get a badge. For right now, we wanted ours to be somewhere in the middle. We want it to be something that's meaningful, not just pay to play sort of a situation, but to also recognize that we are a relatively new organization and a relatively new program. And so we wanted to make it easy for training providers to get on board. What we wound up with is really 2 options for training providers. They can pay a fairly low fee and then pay a fee per program, or they can pay a slightly higher fee for unlimited programs. As the slide says, we finalized that this quarter, and we expect to start reaching out to authorized training partners who had been on our survey form in the months ahead. We also reviewed the process. What does that look like on the student side? So for those of us who are in the industry, when we're taking courses, how do we actually get credit for those? And that's going to be a work in progress with Nicole and the staff and the website. For now, a lot of the process, both on approving the ATPs and also approving the CEUs, is going to flow through the Professional Development Committee, partly so that we can look for any unanticipated situations that we might not have processes for as yet, and then eventually transition that entirely over to the staff. We also reviewed the strategic plan to ensure alignment with the strategies. And the other big thing we did was the badge and logo usage guidelines. I think I heard someone comment that we've already had at least one situation where someone was using a badge from NSITSP inappropriately. And so we want to make sure there's some kind of guidelines in place to make sure that when somebody is displaying an NSITSP badge, and I know the next slide has the approved badges, Nicole, if you want to go to that, that it's actually meaningful and carries the weight that we want it to carry as a professional organization. I know for me, I'm going into a sales presentation tomorrow with a very large potential customer for us. I'm only allowed 4 slides in the presentation, but you can better believe that the second slide is going to be full of all the badges that we have access to, because I want to make sure that the potential customer knows that we take this very seriously and that we're very proud of our accomplishments and that we are different from maybe some of the other providers that they're looking at, because we do have this professionalism and we do have this education behind us. So that's been what the Professional Development Committee has been working on in both approving the badges earlier this year, but also now in approving usage guidelines for those badges. So that's what the Professional Development Committee has been up to. Like all the rest of the committees, we definitely have openings coming up. So we appreciate anybody who wants to join to jump on board. So that's my update.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Chip. Very excited about the continuing education opportunities and the partnerships there. So thank you for highlighting your committee's activities. And at this time, I'm going to ask for Steve to come back and give us an update for our governance committee and the election process. Steve?
Thank you, Nicole. So there is the QR code that I put in the comment field. If you have your cell phones handy and want to register for a candidacy for one of the open committees or for the board itself, I'm happy with you scanning that. Maybe somebody can try it out and let me know the QR code is functional. So the governance committee has some really important responsibilities. The first one is they run the elections, which is seasonal, of course, but now is the hot time, the busy time for the governance committee, because the registration period is going on right now, and we have another 2.5 weeks maybe till the end of August, when the candidates need to register. You log into the web page, you go to the website, you fill out a form. If your membership needs renewal, you can renew and then fill out the form. I would say that you put down a little bit of a statement, so a couple of lines, a couple of bullets, why you think you could be helpful in the committee. I think most of the time with the board and with the committees, if you want to participate on a committee, and even if you're not elected to that committee, we're happy to grant you access and participation in that committee. As mentioned, the membership committee is brand new. So the reason that we're have all the slots open is because the current people, the 5 people that signed up for the first meeting, are all interim. And so we're looking for folks to help drive that membership. With that, once you register, once you get your statement on board, you can do a couple different things. One, you can post a comment in the forum online in the website. You can post a blog post, a statement, and we have one of the candidates, and actually several of the candidates, who have posted on LinkedIn. We have a strong group on LinkedIn of over 1,000 members on that LinkedIn group following the NSITSP site. And so posting to that particular group is one way to get your name and your positions and your experience out in front of our membership. All right, currently we're looking at a slide that talks about the timeline. So as I said, August is the time for registering. First 2 weeks of September are campaigning. So yes, I talked about campaigning a little bit, but hold your horses until September 1st, and then you can promote yourself in various ways. Last year or 2 years ago, I think I sent out an email to people stating my positions and requesting their support. And those people were very helpful, friendly, supportive, and so I really appreciate all of them. The voting is September 13th through the 19th, so it's fairly compressed. It's a week, so everybody has to get out, shake the bushes, and get everybody to vote during that week. And then Monday morning, September 22nd, we're going to tear open the envelope from PricewaterhouseCoopers and see what the vote tallies are. And then likely we will push out an announcement on that day. And then really important, September 23rd through the 30th, we have training. So there has been some trepidation in the past about, well, I don't know what the committees do. I don't know how much time it takes. All of those things can be taught and trained during that transition period. So we want to make your landing, as smooth and easy as possible. And so we've got folks like Carl and Heather and Chris and Corey, ready to, educate and train to make sure that you are as productive as possible. And then October 1st, the ball drops on Times Square and the new term begins. So that's the schedule, fairly straightforward, but we mark your calendars, I guess, if you're interested in participating. Let's see. So my other comment on governance has to do with the code of conduct and code of ethics. So code of conduct, we have a draft version, and the governance committee, once they get through the election, will be responsible for taking a look at that code of conduct, offering their view and their input in that code of conduct, which is really important because once they make edits, make changes, make comments, that code will go to the board, and then the board will then approve. And then that code of conduct goes out across not only our membership, but websites and presentations and gets communicated out across the industry. So again, this is one way that, a small number of people can have a big voice on what impacts the industry itself. All right, with that, I will stop. If Brett or David have any questions, comments, anything to add to that, feel free to raise your hand. And if not, I will jump over to questions. All right, open discussion. So here's the fun part of this session. If you do have a question, there is, and you scroll to the bottom, there's a little reaction button. And if you click on that reaction button, one of the options is to raise your hand. So if you want to speak live, please help me by raising your hand, and then I can call on you. If not, feel free to put the question in the chat, and hopefully we can grab those questions from the chat, and we can make sure that those are asked. Carl has a comment that I'd like to reiterate. We have committee members who participate, an hour per month, hour and a half per month. And it's really quality over quantity in terms of time spent. The people in this organization are amazingly experienced and capable. So when questions come up and discussions occur, they tend to be very high quality discussions based on, years and I don't want to say decades, but years and years of experience. So, I would say, the board probably has a 3-4 hour commitment per month. The board meetings are probably 90 minutes per month. So it's, not that much. And then the committees are typically one meeting per month. And those meetings tend to last an hour, as well as tracking some emails during the month. So again, just to be clear on time commitments. If you want to do more time, if you want to work on a special project, if you want to drive, a marketing activity or a membership activity or a training activity, or if you have an accounting background and you want to do some modeling and forecasting, all of those things would be, greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. So I'm seeing 3 new texts. Questions. Current membership count, what's the year-over-year growth has been? Asked by Jason Richardson. So currently, we are about 300 members, and those are paid members. So if you're looking at for, the number of people that have ponied up and spent their either $150 or $195 for a business membership, that's the number. If you're looking for market impact, currently the mailing list or a distribution list is up over 1,000 with another 1,000 of people that have attended our events, have attended our webinars. And then if you look at the number of people that see our notices, it's in the tens of thousands between Carl and Howard and myself, both on LinkedIn and email. Our messages get spread not just to MSPs and ITSPs, but also to vendors. They see the positions we take. The position we took on CISA got shared with national media, right? We sent it to both reporters and legislators. The position we took on the state of Maryland tax went to the Speaker of the House and the governor's office in Maryland. So, it's not just a small subset of people that are getting these messages. Year-over-year growth rate, it's been slow. It's hard. It's been hard to get people to sign up. So when Jason asked for you to bring 2 friends, please take that seriously. Reach out to people you know, reach out to your fellow employees, reach out to service providers, reach out to your vendors. If you have a vendor that owes you a favor because you placed an order with them, tell them they need to sign up as a member of the NSITSP. We welcome vendors, we welcome their input. So please twist their arms for us. We would appreciate that. Keith, no, seasoned, I think is the right adjective. Our members are seasoned, not old. Key point about the age of the organization, still we're relatively young, so about 4 years old, but every year we're expanding and we have plans to expand for next year. Some of those are in the strategic report or strategic plan that Nicole mentioned, which is a comprehensive document, and some of which are going to be plans that the board puts together. No more comments on being old. I think Keith's got a point about the membership dues. Yes, I would say 95% of our probably no, it would be 100% of all the revenue brought in goes to pay for our expenses, which has to do with the services that we purchase, the websites that we run. So as a membership, professional organization, no one's, getting paid or pocketing anything, making a profit from the NSITSP. All right, more questions. I'm not seeing any hands. Keith, you gonna raise your hand? Although it's a little bit hard for me to see hands on here. Okay. So we're at the end of the hour. 60 minutes has come and gone in the blink of an eye. It's been a minute, as they say. So with that, let me just wrap up and say how much we appreciate you all. We'd love to have you work with us, as many of you already do, on those committees and get your voice and your input in. And so we will see you in 90 days. We hope you have that on your calendar. And with that, Nicole, if you could turn off the recording, we will bring the meeting to a close.